Good evening. We're live.
All right.
I'm back with my stream mic.
Oh.
Sorry, I just remembered that I was uploading some more pictures to my Dropbox. So I will preface this by saying that every single piece of documentation that we are going to go over tonight, I have put into a Dropbox, and I will add the link to the description at the end of this stream so that you, if you are so inclined, you can read it all for yourself at your own leisure, because the facts matter, I feel like, right? They do.
How about that? Well, you can't beat that.
They sure fucking do.
I think the facts do matter. That's a very good saying, that is. The facts matter.
Facts and receipts.
We're such assholes. I love it. Yeah, I mean, I get a little haughty with this. I don't mean to brag, and at first I wanted to handle this kind of with kid gloves because I figured that she was just like a kind of like sickly old lady with, you know, maybe some issues at home, and that caused her to exaggerate a little bit. And then I got the police reports, you guys. And once I got the police reports, I was like, nah, she is a professional level grifter. No bones about it. Sue me if you want. I would stand behind that in court. So today with me, I have Dogtective. What's up? How you doing? I have the one, the only dog, that British guy, Wyatt Earp, and Dr. Navy Johnson. How you
That's
guys
right.
doing?
Yeah, my parents were both doctors, so.
You inherited the title, and that's a thing that happens, right? You inherit the title of doctor.
And if you see smoke,
Yeah, it's like the case. Remember when Mouse claimed he was a pilot, and then we said you're not a pilot, and he said, well, his dad was a pilot, and when he died, you know, the pilot license went right down to him, you know, through. Yeah. So I'm running with it. Don't sue me.
So where did we leave off? So I guess I should share my screen here. The only thing I'm going to ask, respectfully, because I suck at this, is if someone else can read the police report out, because I tend to stutter and stammer, and Virgo's people have informed me that my poor reading out loud is indicative of me being a retard that doesn't check my facts. So I'm trying to avoid that as best I can. I think I just might have.
Well, who's on PC?
Share it.
I'm on a phone right now, and who's on a PC that they can see it a whole lot clearer?
I mean,
I'm on a
I'm on
phone.
PC.
I'm on a phone and it's past midnight here, so my eyesight's going to be terrible.
I'll read it,
Oh.
but just like, no, I'm going to read it.
I
I'm
wanted to hear the
for
frog
team.
read it. Who
And
wants
he
to
does
hear
have
the
a very
frog read
sweet
it?
voice. Yeah.
He does. It's a sweet
Alright.
voice.
Oh, I do have to share my TAD audio. I hope it doesn't cause an echo. If it does, I'm
We
sorry.
should get Shiva do a dramatic reading in the Shiva voice, but he has a cold right now, so he can't.
Oh, bummer. That's okay. So here we have some of the evidence that we're going to go through. It's extensive. You know, just kind of, so the first thing that I wanted to really cover here, though, I think something that was a loose end that I was trying to tie up here, is that I received the fire report. And when I received the fire report, I was swiftly, 393 people here already. People are interested in the facts, apparently. So I received the fire report. I was promptly informed through some Discord chatter that Virgo has informed people that there is no way that I could have gotten the actual fire report by anyone other than a nefarious character, because it is not public record. Apparently her landlord signed a non-disclosure agreement, which somehow shut down public information access laws. So
Yeah, that
I just
happens.
want to point out, I got this very much through a public records request. And the second thing that I was told is that we only read the preliminary record, you guys. Okay, there's a final report, and that really will back up her story and right all the wrongs. And you know, they forgot to add in the first one that she got blown back 10 or 20 feet, whatever it is. But they would have on the final report. So I just, I searched that down because that's important to know, right? Like, if there's a second report, I want to read it. So can we see this okay or not? Hold on.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yep.
All right, great. So I did email them, and I said, here we go. I said, perhaps you can assist me with this. My objective is to determine the cause of the structure fire. Is there a final investigative report or other documentation that I can access that would shed some light? Thanks, Catherine Peter, because I don't hide my name. All right. So they respond over at the Pueblo Fire Department, and they tell me, I also sent you the report this morning. please scroll to the last page. If this doesn't answer your questions, you may also email the firemen. Just use their name, initial, and last together at pueblo.us. So I did email the firefighters. As of today, I have not received a response yet, but I know that shift difficulties and whatever, it was literally just Monday morning yesterday that I went and tried to circle back to that. So they sent me one report, and per the fire department, this is the one and only report that exists, and I just need to scroll to the last page and it will explain everything to me. So here we go. We have this this fire report. Oh, we can make it full screen. Check that out. Beautiful. And we can zoom in. So this is the full report. Because Virgo has already claimed that we are attributing someone else's record to our own, I'm not going to bother to redact it at this point. Quite frankly, Furry Potato got her psychotic little hands all over this, and she's been docked to the high hills. And, I wanted to protect this information initially until I realized that this woman is a fucking liar. She's a grifter. Her life is not in danger, no more than mine has been. In 3 years of doing this, I've had people show up to my house, I think, twice, and somebody to my workplace once. That's in a 3-year period. If anyone's going to get shot for shit they say on the internet, it's going to be me. Like, obviously, I am really good at making people want to fucking shoot me, and I'm not dead yet. So Virgo, you're fine. Calm down, you fucking shabby grifter. So here we go. We have the report. I'm going to put this in a Dropbox if you want to read it, in more depth for yourself. But here we go. Okay, so we have the section that she went over in her video, right? And then we have, if we go down below more, I'm not scrolling well here. Well, that's not really scrolling that fast. Hold on. All right. We have down here all the apparatus, the personnel. Here we go. Yep. And the supplemental. Okay. So the supplemental is exactly what we went over the other night. That, there was a fire, that she was being loaded into an ambulance, that she states she was in the living room and heard the smoke detector sounding in a bedroom that she uses for storage. She states she went and opened the door, saw smoke, exited the house, and called 911. All the stuff that we talked about before that everybody disputes because there's a final report that's going to give us more information. Here's the last page, and the last page is exactly the same. So this is the final report. This is all that the fire department has on record. This is it. So, I would absolutely invite Virgo to come here. I'm sure you're lurking now. If you're not, come back on your own channel. Show us this elusive final report, because I'll just screenshot it and send it to the fire department, and they'll tell me that it's legitimate or not. Because otherwise it doesn't fucking exist at this point. I've done my due diligence, and it's not there. Okay? It's not. Yeah, no mention whatsoever of a stove exploding. None of that. So this is the one and only final fucking report. Are there any questions here?
Nope.
No. Okay.
Although we know through that report that the scene has been handed from someone to someone to someone, and the final person was the assistant chief of the fire department, I believe, who did that final report and signed it off. Yeah, incident commander, Captain Hunter, Chief Fassi, Captain Giuseppe. Yeah, safety officer right here. It was passed off to investigation. If you go through the report, you can see that there was a unit that was dedicated simply to investigation. That was code 37. It was a structural engineer, a firefighter, and a chief medical officer. And we can go back to that, no problem. Sorry while I, scroll up forever. Right here, 37, right? 11 engine. There was an engineer, a firefighter, an emergency medical officer. The only box that they have checked off here, so the only reason that they showed up was to investigate the fire on arrival. Okay? This is it. They were the investigators. So I did email them again, and in full transparency, I have not received. Yeah. I've not received a response. So Virgo, of course, has now doubled down and said, no, I have proof of this. It's in my medical records. Obviously, you can't see them, but, all this evidence that she has that you are not allowed to see totally proves her story. There were eyewitnesses that you can't talk to. Don't believe the report. Believe her, even though you can't see any of the evidence. Okay, fine. She also said that her house, what did she say about it? That it was, the front was cut off, right?
Yeah, she said. Well, basically, she said, the front of the house was cut entirely off, all caps, OFF. Like, instead of just like a normal fireman would go through the front door, maybe kick it in if it's locked or whatever. But no, she said no. The entire front house of the house the entire front of the house was cut off.
Right.
And can I say something on that? That there's a pattern with that. How the exaggerations in which it goes through to paint this narrative in the viewer's mind. Let's put this down. There's a fire, no doubt about it. Not unlike fires that you see on the news where the person's outside getting interviewed. They're sitting in their house. They heard the alarm go off. Alarms are very sensitive. They usually get, sense the odors of the smoke before you do even sometimes. So she's sitting there. The alarm goes off. She goes and looks in the room. She sees smoke, closes the door, and goes outside and calls 911.
Right.
Boom. Done. Okay? You see it all the time on the news. There's no, but she's turning it into blown back 20 feet, gas explosion, and head injury, ICU 3 days, can't talk, can't walk for 2.5 months.
Mm-hmm.
See, the narrative that she paints doesn't line up with this report, and this report is very, very detailed. And I don't know how much you want to go into it, but there's the house right there. We're looking at it now.
That is post-fire. That is post-fire.
Okay, that is the AD corner on the right. That's where the fire.
Yeah,
was.
right here, over here. Yep.
Yeah. So what they did was they made entry into the front, and they went around to the right, opened the interior door. There was some backdraft. They saw the fire, started putting the fire out, but there's so much crap, debris, and piled from the ground up to 4 feet and all this stuff. They said, "Hey, look, Charlie, go around front, bust out that window, and stick a hose in there too, and see what you can do." Plus,
they cut out a little bit of the wall. You can see where it's boarded down, and it does reflect in the report that they did. They took out the window, they cut out a little bit of the wall because the window had already blown anyway, and that's how they finally were able to, put out the fire because again, her house was hoarded. So some of this damage, per the report, occurred because there was a hoard in there. And I understand that hoarding is a mental illness, and I don't want to harp on it too bad because I'm a bully, but I don't want to be that much of a bully. And frankly, I've had a relative that has had several issues. Difficult person to deal with, definitely, out of her control to some, but that is sort of important to understand at the same time too. A lot of the shit that was lost was garbage. It was a hoard,
Yeah, I get where you're coming from, and I don't mean to do the same thing too. But the facts are what they are. They probably could have extinguished the entire room from the interior door, but there was so much stuff in there, and plus the weight of all the stuff on the floor, plus the fire probably started near the floor, all the water they're putting on the floor. They just went around to the front and compromised the window and stuck a hose in there, maybe busted out a little bit, then crawl and get in there. Who knows? But the point to take away from this is that house, the front of that house is still intact. Now, if you go to our last community page post, it says what does it say? The entire front of the house was cut off! Exclamation point! Exclamation! All caps. I mean, come on. So she's still doing that. That's the habit. Is it really a habit or is it intentional? That's the question we have before.
It's a grift, and we're going to get into why it's a grift because we have obtained police reports now. So this is the other part of the house, just so that we can see. What it looks like here. There is some debris. It's mostly not, you can actually, if you scroll down here,
you can
see that there's a newspaper still completely intact here. So this is not all fire damage stuff. This is just hoard garbage too.
It's a lot of old shoes. It's a lot of old shoes and clothes and boxes and newspaper. It's just, okay, we don't need to go much further. It's not, like she says, I just got an inventory in, from a business and things like that. Well, I'm sorry. That was the main reason that they probably had a difficult time. Well, they stated, I'm not guessing, they stated in the fire report that they had difficulty because of the amount of material, fuel, they call it fuel, not like gasoline, but actual just stuff that can burn, was in the house. And they had difficulty navigating the premises. So they had to go around front and go in through the window.
My understanding of this house is it's basically one of those houses that you see driving down the road in two parts, yeah?
Yeah, it's a modular.
Yeah, and so it's not particularly big. It's I think a 3-bed and that looks like the small bedroom to me, where you put all the where she had all the shit stored.
Yeah.
Inventory.
Sorry. And another point is we're dealing with the front of the house here. We have to remember that she was out the back of the house.
Yeah, she got out fine. Look, I mean, I know we can't get her medical records, and it's not really, kosher to challenge someone's illnesses or injuries that they incur. But I've got this in perspective now. For me, in my mind, it was as simple as she heard the alarm, she saw the fire, she went outside, called the cops, and they came, and it turned into this. It would have been, you said this before, Kate, it would have been perfectly, she'd have been out of expenses for living expenses. She'd have been, in a tough spot, probably needed some help, things like that, minus the $5,000 for renter's insurance, and then, she needed to, take care of the dogs, and that would have been totally fine. And I probably would have, that's what donations is for, and that's what people hope they donate under that with their reading and seeing and hearing is true, but it turned in what she turned it into doesn't line up with what we're reading here, doesn't line up with the photos we see of the house. We should look at her the post on our community post. I think she said the entire house was what? I don't want to say condemned, but I think, did she use the word condemned?
Well, technically it was
uninhabitable.
It was deemed uninhabitable.
Right.
I mean, so what we do know is that the house was deemed uninhabitable on May 17th due to fire damage.
Right.
We know that. Sorry, I'm trying to look up something else of where we're going. We know that the landlord has taken out permits to fix the house. So it was salvageable enough that the insurance company agreed to fix the house instead of, just wheeling in a new modular home. And we know that he has started the work but not completed it yet. So we know that much about the house. But again, if you have this mental image of this house blown to bits, which I feel like she crafted so that people would have, that's just not accurate. Like, a window did blow out in a backdraft, which I've been arguing with people in the comments. I understand the backdraft is you could call it an explosion. It's really just a hot combustion, but you can call it an explosion. It can have as much force. But it happened when she wasn't in the home, when first responders opened the door to that room to get to the fire. That's a common phenomena. It happens a lot, particularly in an oxygen-deprived room where there's been a fire smoldering for a little bit. And it didn't do as much damage as she wants you to think it did. They did not have to cut the front of her house. I mean, that is absurd. That is an absurd thing to just accept without proof. I am sad for the people that were grifted by her. And as we go on, we're going to show you criminal records, including a police report that shows you what a grifter she is and how long she's been doing this, Dr. Virgo. But I'm also kind of frustrated with you people. One thing that I like about Masserole Report is the people that come around here. Everyone seems to have a natural built-in bullshit detector. They will question everything. They will question me when it is appropriate or necessary to varying levels. I might not always agree that it is, but I mean, they will question me. They will question anyone. That is important. You need to think for yourself. All these people that bought her hook, line, and sinker, there are red flags. If you have a natural bullshit detector, you would have picked up on this. Like, come on.
Yeah, and one thing about people who go to solicit funds, I posted it in what's that Goofy Brian New England's channel today. That number one rule of soliciting donations: honesty and accuracy are paramount. Mm-hmm. And for people soliciting funds for somebody, that holds true too, because you take ownership of it. And I think that they know that by now, but it seems that we got to learn this lesson over and over and over again. If that you have to know not just a little bit, not just what somebody says. You have to know that it's 100% true because your name's on it. And we saw that with a couple of people last year.
And I think what we're seeing, Navin, is, some of those people who put their name on this, are so afraid of them having got it wrong that they just won't admit what makes sense.
Well, that's a common phenomenon with people who've been taken is they almost double down. They don't want to know that they've been taken. And the old adage is that it's easier to fool someone than to convince them that they've been fooled. They just they don't want to believe it, or they just they almost double down, and it comes to a certain point where you got to go, geez, okay, And
I think we all agree there was no point to embellish this story.
I agree.
No point at all. She had a fire. Do a fundraiser.
she would have got probably 8 to 10,000, and out of it, for her expenses and her, the travel and the lodging, and I would have said, okay, that's commensurate with, what we see happening.
Have we lost Kate?
I don't know. She'll be back. But where we are now, the dollar amount we're at now, and we all know that there was super chats and PayPal donations, and then along with the GoFundMe, it's exorbitant. It's up there. It's alarming. To the level that it got, and nobody pumped the brakes on her. Somebody tried to, but it's.
But she's a great person because she delves into soft-sits and mores, so she's a great person.
Right.
She must be a great person.
People that I hate, therefore she must be okay. Right.
Yeah, right. Exactly. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, we'll see. What happens is if you're thinking, okay, the number is so high, it's gotten so high, and I kind of know that this isn't on the level of what happened. At a certain point, any future donations fall on you. If they fall on you.
And she does use these techniques. I mean, I've only really sort of got into this probably the last week and listening to her, but the way in which she posts community posts, it's all pulling at heartstrings all the time. I love you. I love you. I love my subscribers. Well, of course you do, because they're paying you. They're keeping you in the lifestyle that you're living. Without them, you haven't got any income.
I see what Pat's saying. I don't think, and correct me if I'm wrong, in my mind, the issue here is not what started the fire. I could care less. I think we know it was a fire. I don't think she started it. No. How it started to me is of no consequence at this point.
There's no evidence of arson, so it says the fire started in a pile of debris on the floor. Right. That's what it says in that final report.
Go much further. There was no mention of ball lightning, which ball lightning, scientifically speaking, you have a better chance of winning the lottery than you do ever encountering ball lightning. It is that rare. There's no mention of gas lines, gas leaks. And again, I'm going to put this in a Dropbox. If you really want to question it, read it for yourself. There's no mention of anything gas line related. They never had to call out the gas company to shut off the gas, which they would need to do if it was a gas explosion, because otherwise that fire is not going out. They did not list the cause of ignition to be anything gas related. Nothing of the sort. That is a fabrication at this point, as best can be corroborated from public documents. And there is no non-disclosure agreement in the world that you can sign away to hide public documents. Fire investigations are public documents. It is offensive for her to tell her friends and subscribers shit like that. That is insane. Public access laws are God here. We have very, very strict rules as to how you can access public information. There is nothing that you can do to hide that. We live in a transparent society.
Shiloh says the frauditors are really loving.
I wanted to say something about that.
And that is true. They are. However, that should not stop us calling out someone on this side of the community, what would be perceived as my side of the community. Now, I started on the other side, like many of us did. So what side am I on? But I'm on the side of good, I think. I like to think.
Truth. That's what I mean. I'm sorry, but Virgo's talking a lot about integrity. Okay? Integrity is standing up and saying the truth no matter who it's going to offend. I understand that Virgo and I share some subscribers. With all due respect, I don't give a fuck if you're upset with me. The facts don't care that you're upset with me. The facts are their facts, and they're going to remain. And I know somebody else said, well, since Furry Potato has come out and is almost agreeing with you, you should be ashamed of yourself. No, I'm not. I am happy that Furry got something right for once in her fucking miserable, useless life. Honestly, I'm going to say, I have to change my opinion because Furry Potato agrees with me. Ding, ding, ding. This scam was so obvious that even dumbass Furry Potato picked up on it. Hello. Like, Jesus fucking Christ.
Right on, exactly.
You don't hide things because it's inconvenient to your narrative. You don't hide things because you don't want your enemies to revel in it. I've had to tell the truth about myself too, right? I've said plenty of things about myself in my past or what's going on in my life today that I am sure my enemies are reveling in. I don't give a fuck because it's the truth. You should feel the same way too, I think, all of you. If you claim to stand for something like that, if you claim to stand behind what Virgo says she stands behind.
It's like, look, I started a GoFundMe. So, I started a GoFundMe and I got roasted for it. You should see what happened to me. $20.
I mean, she acts like there are sides to this, and I know that there are people out there taking sides, but the reality of this is it's like a fucking coin. On one side, we have the truth, and on the other side, we have the narrative that you've been spun. And, you know, this may have started out of legitimate need, but when a scammer sees an opportunity, they take it.
Yep. And she started taking it from the moment that she said that her purse with its life savings was sitting up in her fucking closet. Okay. You know, I like to be fair, and I'm fair no matter what side you're on. So I wanted to get to the other. So she's claiming that all of her friends and former companions or whatever else ran and were doxing her and all this shit. So I wanted to explain how I found her name. And I want to give a big shout out to Degeneration Nation for helping me with this, because he was instrumental in being able to find out her information. So thank you, Degeneration Nation, for that. Degeneration Nation started sending around screenshots of a public Instagram post from Pueblo Fire Department that he was claiming was about the fire that occurred at Virgo's house. So I had Pueblo, Colorado, right? And I have Virgo. So I just start running a search online, kind of combing through with different keywords related to her channel and Pueblo, Colorado. I'm sorry. So I came across this. It is a nonprofit, Virgo Unlimited. It's in good standing. It was formed in 2019. It is a nonprofit. It is registered to the address on the fire report, and it is registered to a Jamie J. Taylor. Okay, so what I did was I then went back and I started searching for fires through the Pueblo Fire Department. And ding, 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 what hits but this 2414 Lowell Ave. And it has Jamie J. Taylor on it. Okay, all right, now we're getting somewhere. So I sat back on this information, and then Virgo blew her load because she was about to get outed, I think. So she put up the fire report. And it corresponded with the one that I had, except she had kept out the part that gave her account of how she found the fire. Okay, so now we know it's her. So I just wanted to show you a little bit more questionable shit about this nonprofit that I found. And if someone can explain to me, we have a lot of people here right now, over 500, and we have people that are pretty fucking smart. So I feel like maybe one person can explain this to me in a way that I can understand, because I can't make heads or tails of it. Now, Virgo Unlimited is a nondescript nonprofit that she started in 2019. I can find nowhere on her channel or her website before she, took it down, because that's fraudulent as fuck too. And I could not find any digital footprint of what they do. It's just Virgo Unlimited. This is the filing, which was filed at her old address.
Well, Kate, they do everything. It's unlimited. You can't really put it down. They do
everything. A corporation, Virgo Unlimited Corp. Really, really official sounding. So here she is again, Taylor Jamie J. There she is. And there's no mission statement. There's no purpose written into this articles of incorporation. There's no board of trustees. There's no anything other than she is the registered agent. And not line 6 here, provisions regarding the distribution of assets on dissolution. And all she wrote in was profits will go to the registered agent, which is her. So I am just curious why she has this nonprofit with no description whatsoever, no mission statement, no discernible purpose. She doesn't mention it anywhere. I don't know who she's helping with this nonprofit, or what kind of work she's doing, but she does have it set up so if this goes under, then all the assets that have been put into this business will go back to her. And let's just remember this too, because when we go through the police report, you're going to see a parallel. So what could this possibly be?
Shell.
Yeah, it's just her cleaning her money.
It's a shelter.
Yeah,
it looks like it, but anyway.
So this is where we found it. So now that we know who she is, we do a skip trace and we get 2 names back. We get Jamie J. Taylor, which is Jamie Janae Taylor, and Jamie J. Walker, Jamie Janae Walker. So when we read off this police report and we show you these things, I know that you're going to say, if you're one of her supporters, because this is what she's been telling people, that that's not her. It's not her. You've got it all wrong. So I'm going to show you why her name is Walker in some documents and Taylor.
Kate, do you mind if we do you mind if I kind of, because I know this is probably going to come up.
Yeah.
It already has come up. Let's talk about doxing for a minute. Okay, we all know that there's sensitive private information, Social Security numbers, driver's license numbers, things like that. Okay, that is illegal to put that out there on the internet, no doubt about it. Then there's doxing, which goes into the realm of ethical or moral issues. Do I put this person's name out and this stuff and things like that? Well, I maintain that it's all about the intent. Kate's intent is not to run Virgo through the mud or malign her in any way, but she's put us in this position. Sometimes people need to see information. She's not going to do it. It has to be done. It's at that point now where
and you talk about the docs.
Who to believe her or believe us. It's at that point. Anyway, go ahead, Frog.
I was going to say, you talk about the docs. Well, the docs has been done. Furry Potato done the docs. I mean, that's done.
Independent of that, even if it wasn't out there like that, I can understand. But what she is doing is she is telling people this criminal record is not mine.
Right.
This fire is legit. She's already starting to talk about another sick dog and how she's going to need money for that. Okay. So at this point, the only way that I can show you that this is her criminal record, because she is not woman enough to fucking own it, is to show you that the name and the date of birth fucking match. And this is all public information. And this is something that Virgo does on a daily basis on her channel. She reads off other people's court reports with their information on it.
Exactly.
And as far as the name goes,
it's what you don't bitch when I got Josh Abrams' name up there. You don't bitch if it's Furry Potato. You guys dead name it. In my comments, you will dead name Furry Potato, you fucking assholes. But you're upset that we're putting Virgo's name out there when she is lying about owning this criminal past. And this is a grift. You will see in this report, she was impersonating a doctor. She was using fake license numbers to defraud her banks and defraud a corporation. Okay? Yeah. This is directly related to the fact that she is grifting you now. So if you are upset that I am putting her name out there, I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, and as far as the convergence of evidence, I'd like to say not just one piece, but another piece and another piece and another piece. This is a very unique first name with a very uncommon spelling, a unique middle name, again, very uncommon spelling. And we're talking about a town in North Dakota, not a very big town. First, middle, last, birth date. All line up. So anyway, and
I'm going to show you right now. So I'm on the Clark County, Nevada government website. I'm searching marriage records. Okay, because I'm going to show you that she got married, and that's why you're going to see her name is Walker in some things and Taylor in some others. So here we are, Jamie Taylor.
Women get to have all these different names. I'm jealous.
I didn't even change mine. Honestly, this is one of the bonuses that women get because of dumbass old patriarchal laws, is the being able to change your name. It honestly makes it easier to fraud online. It's true.
Apparently. Back and forth.
So here we have Taylor, Jamie Janae. She married Walker, 1990. That is why you are seeing the name. You will see the name Jamie Janae Walker. You will also see the name Jamie Janae Taylor. Okay, that's why. So, like, when she says that it's not me and we have it wrong, we don't do research, it is offensive, because we do research here. So we're going to go through, and we're going to go through this police report that I'm unfortunately going to have.
Do you want me to read it? Because I can read it off another. I can come off the panel.
I can read it now too.
Anyone's better than me. I'm a stammerer. I'm not.
I can read.
Do you want to? You start off, and when you've had enough, I'll take over if you want.
No, alternate sentences. You read one sentence.
The first thing I want to do is I want to play this just to illustrate how entrenched she is in lying. So here we go.
Number 2, I am not a felon in any way, shape, or form.
You hear that?
That was number 2.
Do I need to play it again? Hold on. I'm going to play it one more time so we hear.
Number 2, I am not a felon in any way, shape, or form.
Okay. All right.
No.
Yep, that's what she said a couple days ago. She is not a felon in any way, shape, or form. And the facts matter, and she is the arbiter of truth. None of you people can stand up to her level of commitment to the facts and commitment to the truth. So, I mean, she wouldn't lie.
That's what we call putting the ball in. She put the ball in your court. And so now it's, okay, well, you made the statement. So now it's, what are you left to do? But what's about to happen?
Right. So this is
Check fraud.
I was going to just say, Kate,
Oh,
my
boy.
understanding is that you obtained the police report today, because some may ask, well, why didn't you put this out earlier? Why didn't you do this on Sunday night? Well, because you didn't have the information.
Right. Which is what I was saying, you know, like just in general. I was looking into a lot of different things. Her story is very convoluted. So I was, but I don't want to upload
right.
anything. Stop.
That's a lot of people in one report.
Yeah. Well, there's a lot of people mentioned here, is what it is. So this is a felony theft by deception that she received in 2007.
Now, can you full screen that or no?
I'm trying to.
Okay.
I don't know why it's not zooming in for me. Hold on. I'm going to go back.
I think because this was a felony theft by deception, didn't she plead it down?
No.
Not that that makes it any better.
No, she did not plead it down. No.
Okay.
And actually, we've been through that, because, again, that will be... That's the nitpicking, isn't it? Well, she said she was not a felon, and there's this little bit within, well, but you, as a subscriber who's believing her, saying that, and there's this little out, and I can see there's a little thing in there that she may manipulate to try and persuade you.
No, so what happened was she took a plea deal, and so she was convicted of felony theft by deception, and she ended up getting probation terms that were on a misdemeanor level, right? That's what happened.
Correct.
So it's the probation that they put down to misdemeanor so that she was not on felony probation.
But because that word misdemeanor is there somewhere, her argument is going to be, well, I told you I wasn't a felon, but she is a felon. I mean, it's there in black and white. The judge accepted a plea of guilty to a felony charge.
So does someone want to read this report?
Ooh, me.
Okay.
Try out my new mic.
I have to scroll for it. Okay.
Okay. All right. On March 2nd, 2007, investigator Critch, I'm not going to pronounce his last name, it's a loss, was contacted by Walmart loss prevention employee Travis something. Travis said that Walmart had 9 checks returned to them, 9 checks, as being either insufficient funds or account closed. The checks were written by the accounts of Jamie J. Walker between October 2006 to February 2007. The checks returned to Walmart a total of $3,056.22. Travis provided me with copies of each of the checks that were returned. You scrolled too far.
Sorry.
No worries.
Do you want me to just send this to you? How about I just send this to you?
Yeah, just send it to me.
Hold on. I am out of where I need to send this to you. Okay. Sending it to you on Discord now, because otherwise I'm going to be scrolling like a retard. I'm sorry, a fucktard.
Yeah, Pat, I'd like to read it, Pat, but I'm on my phone. I can barely see it as it is. I can barely see it, Pat.
Yeah, no, I'll send it to her.
Yeah, this is my first time seeing this report, actually, so
I'm actually gonna
this is new to me.
Could you hear me?
Yeah. What?
Could you hear me reading it or not?
No.
No.
Right, so when I went off screen, it took the mic away. I apologise, so I can't read it.
Wait, you've been reading it the whole time.
Okay. Oh.
You know what? I'm just gonna read it, because otherwise I'll be here for 10 hours trying to figure out how to,
Oh, yeah. You can just
I
read
read
it
like a
to me. I
simpleton.
can read it
I don't think I have it saved that like that. Okay, so.
to the Dropbox. Okay.
Can you hear me at the moment?
Yes.
Yep.
Yes.
Okay, I can read and scroll, I think, for a bit.
Thank you.
Where did we get to? So the checks were written on the accounts of Jamie J. Walker between October 2006 and February 2007. The checks returned Walmart total $3,056.22. Travis provided me with copies of each of the checks that were returned, as well as copies of the receipts for the purchases that were made. Copies of these checks and receipts will be scanned and attached to the report. In viewing the checks, I discovered that Walker has written checks on at least 5 different checking accounts through 5 different banks. 3 of the banks are in Fargo, State Bank and Trust, Gate City Federal Savings Bank, and Choice Financial. The other two.
Uh-oh. There
Oh,
you
we
went.
lost him. The other two banks are out of Texas, First Convenience Bank and Washington Mutual. The first check was written on October 6th of 2006. It is written on the Washington Mutual account number redacted. It is check number 3385. The amount is $125.53. Walker's Texas driver license number of redacted is written on the check, as well as the expiration date of blank. The items purchased were clothing and a TV set. The check was returned for insufficient funds. The second check was written on the same Washington Mutual account on October 17th of 2006. The check number is 3392 and is in the amount of $669.77. Walker's Texas driver's license information is on the check as well. The items purchased were clothing, groceries, and animal care items. The check was returned for insufficient funds. The third check was written on November 21st, 2006. Shit. It is written on the Washington Mutual account number blank. Oh my God. I'm having issues here. The items, it is check number 1003 and the amount is $55. The check also contained Walker's Texas driver's license information. The items purchased were grocery items. The check was returned for insufficient funds. Okay. The fourth check was written on December 22nd, 2006 on the State Bank and Trust account number blank. It is check number 1010 and the amount is $176.04. The items purchased were clothing and grocery items. The check was returned for insufficient funds. The fifth check was also written on the State of Bank and Trust account on December 28th, 2006. The check number is 1011 and the amount is $470.48. The amounts purchased were grocery items, personal care items, and clothing. The check was returned for insufficient funds. The sixth check just slipped by me. The sixth check was written on January 18th, 2007 on the First Convenience Bank account number redacted. The check number is 2235 for the amount of $457.61. The items purchased were grocery and personal care items. The check was returned because the account had been closed. So now she's just writing on closed accounts. Walker's Texas driver license information is on the check. The seventh check was written on January 24th, 2007 on the First Convenience Bank account. The check number is 2237 and for the amount of $520.71. The items purchased were grocery and animal care items. Walker's Texas driver's license information is on the check. The check was returned because the account had been closed. The eighth check was written on January 27th, 2007 on the First Convenience Bank account as well. The check number is 2238 and is in the amount of $580.88. Walker's Texas driver's license information is on the check. The items purchased was a laptop computer. The check was returned because the account was closed. The ninth check was written on February 2nd, 2007 on the Choice Financial account number redacted. The check number is 1003 and its amount of $746.80. The amounts purchased were grocery items. The check was returned for insufficient funds. Brokerage said that he had noticed on the First Convenience Bank checks that the secondary account holder is Gina R. Austin. Austin is an employee of Walmart. Roark also noticed that on a transaction from January 18th, Gina Austin's employee discount card was used at the time of purchase that Walker made. Roark said that they have spoken to Austin about this, and she says that she lives with Walker. Austin claims that she did not know the checks being written were bad. I mean, she's a secondary account holder, but whatever. Okay. I spoke with Jim Martin, who works in loss prevention at State Bank and Trust. Martin told me that Walker had opened a checking account at their bank on December 4th, 2006, and made an initial deposit of $122. He said she opened it with $102 in cash and a $20 check. He said that in the month of December 2006, Walker had 17 overdrafts on this account. I also noticed that the State Bank and Trust checks Walker had a North Dakota driver's license listed as blank. This driver's license number does not exist. So not only was she passing bad checks methodically on 5 different accounts at this point, knowingly with no fucking money, she's actually using fake driver's license numbers. Okay, grifter, guys. As of this report writing, I have not yet contacted Jamie Walker. I will update this report with any new information in a supplemental. The supplementals are where it starts to get pretty good. Interesting, I should say. Not good, probably bad. Let me go back. Okay. So now we're going to go to the supplemental. On March 2nd, 2007, investigator Chris Nichtern received some information from Mike Warzeka, who was the senior staff auditor for Gate City Bank. I had requested information from Warzeka as far as when this account through Gate City Bank had been opened, checking account number blank. A check was written to Walmart. Oops, sorry. A check was written to Walmart on 11/21/06. This is really frustrating. Okay. Hold on. Maybe if I zoom out, it won't be so freaking touchy. It's pretty touchy right now. I don't know. Oh my God. Like, I want to get rid of this tab. This would be really helpful if I didn't have that there.
Okay, I'm opening up my computer at the moment, so I'll be able to take over. That
would be great if you could read the supplemental, because I keep bouncing around here. Okay.
Oh, he just wants to read the fun part.
I know, this is the fun part. Okay. Sorry, let me go back up. All right. Okay, so a check was written to Walmart on 11/21/06 on this account for $55. Warzeka informed me that Jamie Walker opened 2 checking accounts. One through Gate City Bank. One was a personal account and the other was a business account. The business account was opened on 10/30/06 with $50 in cash. A check deposit was made on 11/03/06 for $1,250. However, this check was returned to Gate City Bank as non-sufficient funds. There were numerous debit card transactions that had cleared against this $1,250 deposit. The bank was forced to close this account on 12/13/06, and Gate City had a loss of $1,144.49 on that account. The personal account for Jamie Walker was also opened on 10/30/06 with a $700 check deposit. That check was also returned to Gate City Bank as an account closed on 11/6/07. This account was forced closed as well on 12/13/06, and Gate City's loss on that account was $654.61. The total loss from both accounts for Gate City Bank is $1,799.10. The account where the check was issued to Walmart was the personal account of Jamie Walker. Mike Warzeka did fax over statements from both accounts along with signature cards, ID information, and copies of the 2 checks that were returned on the accounts. I did note in looking at the signature cards at the Gate City account that the signature of Jamie Walker appears to match all the signatures on the checks that were written to Walmart. Warzeka also told me that the check for $1,250 had been supposedly written from her parents who had moved to Virgo to take care of their daughter. Warzeka stated they currently have an open account with the parents, and he's been watching for any suspicious activity. He stated they had been living at the Motel 6 at the time the account was opened, but they have a new address. Oh, I don't want to do that. I'm sorry. He did not provide the name of Jamie Walker's parents. I didn't know that was there, or I would have redacted it. I'm sorry. The statement, signature cards, and information I have received from Mike Warzeka will be scanned in and attached to this report. Okay, so right there, I mean, yeah, I don't know how many people would write their child a check that would, bounce on their account, but I know children that would steal checks from their parents. Just saying.
Well, we're okay. Are we still done with the narrative or no?
Oh, there's more.
Okay. Well, right now, kind of take a break, a breather. What you see happening here is this not a case where we were younger and we had NSF, accidentally just overextended our accounts, insufficient funds, and tried. This has all the characteristics of kiting, which is a process in the simplest form where you put money into account, you go spend money in an account at a store, and then they check it, but then you run to the account and take the money out before it clears and go move it, and then go to another account you've had set up. You set up multiple accounts and run this money through, and you're working off the float. You're working off the float period. And otherwise, why these multiple accounts after account after account after account?
No, that's exactly. It's a kiting scam.
Yeah,
that's what
it's a kiting scam.
It's a kiting scheme. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's kind of where I am in my mind at this point. But
and Navin, you have extensive experience in your past with dealing with scams and scammers and scam victims, right? Just for the people that don't know.
Yeah, not so much on this type of, but yeah, more on so with the playing on people's heartstrings and getting people to give money for some either on a 10% truth type thing, like, oh, there was a fire, but ball lightning, blown up, ICU, can't walk, all that shit, 10 days, 2.5 months, that kind of stuff. But anyway, not so much with this kind.
Yeah. So what they're describing is a kiting scheme, and this isn't even the good part. So this is another.
I can read if you
the
want.
Supplemental? Go ahead. This is the good
So
part.
which page were you up to, Kate? So
we're up to the second supplement, which is page. I'm not sure what page this is, honestly.
hang on, supplement for case.
We're on page 7 of 10, second supplement down.
Right. So this is on 3rd of June 2007. From there, yeah.
Yes.
On 3rd of June 2000. Sorry, on the 6th of March 2007.
Yeah, that's sorry, British.
Yeah. I corrected myself. I hope you realise that.
I know.
I got out of bed to read this. So
Thank you.
on the 6th of March 2007, at approximately 12:30 hours, I, investigator Chris Nickturn, along with Detective Paul Holt, went to 1 something Avenue South to speak with Jamie Walker. Upon our arrival, a black female who identified herself as Jamie Walker's roommate, Gina Austin, answered the door. We identified ourselves as police officers and informed Austin that we were there to speak with Walker. Austin told us that Walker was not there and asked what was this about. I informed Austin that we were there to speak with Walker about the checks that she had been writing to Walmart and that the checks have been coming back insufficient funds. There was no money in the accounts when these checks are being written. I told Austin that I knew that she had been on at least one of these occasions. I told Austin that I knew that she had been, I imagine that's with her, on at least one of those occasions because her Walmart employee discount had been used. Austin stated that she had used her ID and that Walker had written the check to get the discount. She's getting discount. She said that she didn't know all of the checks written were not any good. At this point, I explained to Austin that I believed Walker was home as a vehicle was in the driveway. I told her that I was not here to arrest her, that I was simply here to talk to her, and that I wanted to get her side of the story in this matter.
Oh, not that old trick.
Yeah, she's really good from the police, so it could not be a more innocent person, right?
I just want to talk to you. See how you. No.
Austin then went back inside the house, and after a couple of minutes, a white female who identified herself as Jamie Walker came out to speak with Detective Holt and I immediately informed Walker of her Miranda warnings, and told her that she did not need to speak with me. She immediately said that she wanted to speak with me and wanted to explain why she had not done what she had done. Can I just mention here that you should shut the fuck up?
No, but she's got to give the sob stories. This is where the sob stories come in, and later on we'll see that they're probably not true either.
I did say I'd get it in, but someone else who spoke to the police when he shouldn't have done, and she has some similarities to him.
They can talk their way out of it.
She's not a rapist, but, News Now Houston, the rapist, spoke to the police. Anyway, Walker told me that she had moved to North Dakota from Texas and that she had come up here recently in the past few months. She stated that both she and Gina Austin had moved up here as they both need treatment, something centre. She stated that when she and Austin had moved, they had sold all of their personal belongings, such as their furniture, and that they had received a cheque for $3,000, which they deposited into their checking accounts in Texas. They said that it was much later, after they were in Fargo, that they found out that this cheque had bounced and they did not have any money in the accounts. I then showed all the copies of the cheques that I had from Walmart. There are 9 cheques in total. Walker looked at each one and confirmed that she had written those cheques. She stated that she had attempted to deposit money into these accounts and that she had received a cheque from her parents. However, that cheque bounced as well. She stated that she had been paying off the collection notices as she received them and assumed that was how she would be able to take care of this matter, but just paying the collection notices when they came.
I just want to point out there, sorry, just to pause, that the banks never recorded any payments made on it. They had a total loss there. So when she's saying that she's paying off collection notices to these banks,
they're not telling the police that. So again, is it Virgo lying, or is it the banks and the police? You decide.
I informed her that Walmart had made a complaint to the police department, and that is why we were investigating the matter. Walker admitted what she had done was wrong. She stated that she had made a mistake and said that she felt she needed to do what she did to be able to put, I assume, food on the table for herself, Gina Austin, and her 12-year-old daughter.
And
she
it's
admitted
on a laptop too, and some clothes, and yeah.
She admitted knowing that there was not money in the accounts when she wrote the checks, and said that she hoped that she would be able to get money into the accounts by the time the checks cleared. I asked her why she had opened so many different accounts.
Yeah,
she stated that she would open a new account after she began having problems with her first ones. That's what we all do.
Right.
She stated that once the Gate City account had problems, she opened the State Bank of Fargo account. When she began having problems with the State Bank of Fargo, she opened a bank account through Choice Financial. She indicated that the only checking account she is currently using right now is a personal account she has set up through State Bank of Fargo. She again stated that she knew what she did was wrong, and she knew it was going to catch up to her, I assume, but she felt she did not have any other options. Detective Holt asked her what she did for employment. She stated that she has worked as a dog groomer. Interesting. This Jamie J. Walker seems to have an interest in dogs.
Former dog groomer, yeah, that's what she is.
But is not currently working as a dog groomer right now. She also said she puts together some type of animal care newspaper that is given out at grocery stores. She said that she sells advertising for this handout. That is what her primary job is right now. Detective Holt asked her if she had any training or schooling. She stated that she'd gone to college but had not completed it. At this time, she was asked why her checks, though, through Washington Mutual, Gate City Bank and State Bank and Trust, all have Dr. Jamie J. Walker listed on them. She stated that she is not a doctor, that she is not a not a vet. She stated that her father was a vet in Texas. She used to help him out where he worked, so she believed that the doctor part of her name had been passed on to her through her family.
Yeah.
You couldn't make this shit up.
Hey,
Jesus fucking Christ. I guess I'm a nurse then.
Yeah.
Fuck.
Hey, on that note, a serious note, had been passed on to her family. Now, she said her dad was there, her parents gave her money, and didn't she say something about her parents
bounced a check on her?
Gave her a check, and her parents had moved up there to care for some child. I think all signs indicate to her that her dad at least passed away. I don't know if both of them did, but I think they were gone at that time.
I don't know.
No,
but she and Hellfire is saying that she said that she's a clinical psychologist. No, she did not complete college. So her credentials that she uses, like in this script here, because we have to remember as we're reading this, there is a reason why she wanted checking accounts with the word doctor in it. And she obviously didn't tell the police that because she was being interviewed by detectives, nor did the police follow up on this. So we will never know. And I could speculate. I'm not going to openly speculate, but just fill in the blanks for yourself as to why you could possibly need and want to have the word doctor on your checking account next to your name.
Well, it's social engineering.
That is a setup for a grift, okay?
It's social engineering. It looks credible. Someone who was getting the check probably go, "Oh, doctor, plenty of money here. No need to really look into this very much further. It's got doctor on it."
But Kate, she can't have done it. I mean, Degeneration Nation wasn't there when she was actually signing these checks, so it can't have been her. It can't have been her because she's a good person. I've known her for 3 years. I followed her for 6 years. Oh, Jesus Christ, you couldn't make the shit up.
Yeah,
anyway,
and it's just like a fucking dog groomer. The closest you get to your overlap in veterinary is cleaning out anal glands. I don't even think she was a groomer. She was probably a dog bather.
Right, shall I keep going?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, if you're presented with a piece of information like a check or somebody applying for a loan or something like that, and your cursory look at it, you see the word doctor, your guard is let down. You know,
Well,
as far as
it's not just that. It's if you are, perhaps running an online grift that you are presenting yourself as some sort of doctor or credentialed in such way. If you're telling people make out your checks to Dr. Jamie J. Walker, people are going to go, okay. I mean, that sounds, if you see identification and checkbook, checking account and checks that have Dr. Jamie J. Walker listed on it, you're going to be more inclined to believe this person is a doctor.
right, exactly. That's what it's all about. Yeah.
And this is the best lie that she could come up with. She thought she inherited doctor. Like, that's insane. She's supposed to be a smart woman, so you can believe one of two things. Either she's dumb as a box of rocks, or she's dumb like a fox, and she's pulling a fucking grift. I go with the latter. I don't think she's a dumb woman. I think she is a crafty, scammy grifter.
Con artist.
Like Earl David Ward in The Rapist, she thinks she can talk herself out of everything.
Yep. Yeah, and we'll see that as this continues too. Sorry, keep going.
We explained to her that was not appropriate to call herself a doctor when she was not. We also pointed out that it is a form of deception, as we believe she used the title of doctor to open these checking accounts at the various banks, I assume, using deception. She stated that was not her intention. However, she could not understand why we would think that.
That she could understand. Yeah. No, she said that was not her intention. However, she could understand why she would think that. I could see that now. Like, Jesus Christ.
I also asked her about the ND driver's license number that are on her state bank and trust checks. She stated that she does not have an ND license, but was told by someone at the bank that if she did have a ND license, that's what the number would be.
Okay.
That's beautiful.
I asked her how that would be possible, that someone would know what the number would be. She said, because they used the first initials of your last name. I then pointed out that the second two digits are supposed to be your birth date, and clearly her birth date was not 19-something-6, I assume.
1906.
The last four digits, she said, came from a social security number. During the interview with Jamie Walker, it was obvious that she was upset, to me that she was upset. Many times she was near tears and explained that she only did this to be able to support her family. She said she wanted to get this taken care of. She wanted to pay back the money for all the checks she had been writing. She stated that she was selling personal items on eBay so she could pay these collections as they came in. Someone I know sells their personal items on eBay, I thought, quite a lot. I explained to her the process of this report being filed with the state's attorney office, and she asked if she could contact the state's attorney to try to make some arrangements to have this matter settled. I explained to her that she could contact the state's attorney's office and try to work something out, but she was most likely going to be charged because what she had done is a crime. Stated.
Go ahead. Sorry.
She stated that she is a smart person and that she understood that she had committed a crime, and again admitted knowing what she had done was wrong. She stated she didn't feel she had any other choice. She stated that the social services programs out there are not designed to help a person like her.
Yeah.
Maybe they don't provide enough money for a person like her.
Right. You're unemployed with a child and you're supposedly disabled. That's exactly what social services programs are set up. It's not like she makes too much money. She doesn't make any money. She's essentially unemployed, right? Like, it's not like she's saying she's so very sick and that she had to travel to a completely different state for medical care, presumably because the insurance was better up or something. You had to go to the center. So those are the kind of people they help. But we'll see how she, right down below this, kind of gives you a clue as to the validity of some of her medical claims, too.
Well, I guess what she means is they're not set up to help scammers. Or kleptomaniac? I don't know. Kleptomania?
Detective Holt asked her where she was receiving her medical treatment. She stated that she was seeing Dr. Rodney Lee, who has rapid care on 32 Avenue South. She did state that she was not seeing Dr. Lee for her, stating that she is not currently seeing anyone because she does not have medical insurance and cannot pay for the treatment.
Right there. So she starts off by saying, I've traveled to this state to get medical treatment, only place I could get it. I'm seeing this doctor. They press it a little bit more and she backtracks and goes, oh, well, I'm not actually seeing that doctor because I don't have health insurance, which, I mean, they have free health insurance, but even if you don't have health insurance, why are you traveling out of state to go see a doctor that you can't pay for? That doesn't make any sense. But it's, again, this is Virgo's pattern, right? She gets caught in something. It's a sob story. She's got to put food on the table for her family, except she's buying food sometimes and laptops and televisions other times. And God knows what other checks she was bouncing. She's making debit card purchases too, and then she states that she's very sick, that she has to see this doctor, but then, oh, no, I'm not actually seeing a doctor. Sorry, right? Because I think it must have occurred to her at this point, oh, shit, if I say I'm seeing this doctor, they can probably check that, and I'm not actually seeing this doctor. So this is a pattern that we see now. She's got a sob story. They're very sick. They're always in the hospital. They're always being seen. But right here, we're seeing where she used that to try to get out of a crime and then had to admit that, no, she's not actually receiving these extensive medical treatments that she can, and she defers to the social service not helping her, when we all know that what this is, the situation that she's describing is exactly what Social Security or social services is set up to care for.
Yeah. And you could eat a laptop if you got hungry enough. I don't know about the TV.
Walker assured us that she was not writing checks on the closed accounts or on any accounts that did not have any funds any longer. She said the only account she is using is the account she set up through State Bank and Trust of Fargo, where she had not had any problems. When I had earlier spoken with Jim Martin from State Bank and Trust, he did tell me that Walker had opened a second account that they were monitoring, but so far did not have any problems. At this time, I will be sending this report to the State's Attorney's Office for their consideration of charges. End of supplement. Keep going.
No, I think that's it, right? Oh, wait. No, sorry. One more.
Yeah. On the 6th of March 2007, investigator Chris Nickturn received an email from Jamie Walker. In the email, Walker thanked me for my something when I spoke with her at her residence.
Yeah.
In my tact, yeah. In the email, Walker admits what she did was wrong and says that she made some bad choices. The email has been scanned to this report, as I believe it displays Walker's admissions of responsibility in this matter. Now, isn't it a shame that Virgo Triad has not followed through to all her subscribers admitting that she was wrong and that she has made some bad choices, and she is truly sorry for scamming you out of all of that money. Sorry, that was a statement from the frog.
No, absolutely. Because this is just ridiculous at this point. The same thing she's doing the same thing with the fire now. She sees an opportunity and she takes it, and she is financially grifting off of you people. And she is asserting some sort of authority and some sort of education. I mean, she claims to be a consumer education channel. She cannot educate you on how to be a responsible consumer. She is a scammer. That is a kiting scam. That is what that is. And there is financial loss. There's financial loss to the bank. There's financial loss to the corporation, Walmart, and God knows who else that she defrauded. And we still don't know why she was pretending to be a doctor. But she was pretending to be a doctor.
Okay, so I was just looking in the chat and stuff. So there is going to be the question that it's not her. So can we go to the top of this real quick, the very top of that document?
Oh, shit. Let me go back to it. Yeah.
The very top. Then this won't take but a second.
I'm sorry. Hold on.
And people, have looked up names, maybe some people you haven't seen in high school in a long time. And like, oh, crap, the guy's name is Tom Johnson. Oh, shit, or Tom Jones, Tom, whatever. How do I find him? You look trying to find him. This at the very top of that document, as I mentioned earlier.
Are you going for the
one we just read? The one we just read.
Yeah. Are you looking for the birth date?
Yeah. Well, it says her exact name, her exact on that police report.
I don't know if it's the police report or the court docket.
It was on that right there, the first page. The first page.
Right here.
Line where it lists the complainant, and lists the victims, and they're going to leave certain information off of the victims. But if you scroll up to her with the subject or the suspect,
Right.
it's going to say, I mean, we had to find someone with the exact uncommon first name, exact same spelling, a very uncommon spelling, very unique middle name, and very uncommon spelling, and kind of a common last name. But then the date of birth, well, 1971. We know that Virgo just turned 50, and it all lines up in a relatively small town like Fargo. It's not like a huge, like, we're not talking about like 18 million people like Los Angeles or something like that, So I mean, yeah. I'll put it to you. How about this? I'll play devil's advocate. I'll say, how do you know that's her?
I know that's her. How do I know that's her, honestly? Because her spouse's name is listed in the report. Because that is her full name, Jamie Janae Walker, the maiden name being Taylor. Because when I requested the document, I requested the arrest report for Jamie Janae Walker, maiden name Taylor, date of birth September 10th, 1971. And as I'm going to pull up here in a minute, I just didn't realize it wasn't in the Dropbox. I'm going to pull up the court docket that's going to give you her full name and full date of birth, September 10th, 1971. And if you go back to her birthday stream, which we have downloaded and screenshotted, then you will see that her birthday stream was on September 10th for her 50th birthday.
Yeah, and that 35 right below the 71. That's the age at the time of the report. So that'd have been
just for degeneration, who might not be very good at maths. 2021 minus 1971 is 50.
Yeah, that's 50.
Yeah, I'm just a bit worried whether Degeneration Nation might be a bit wrong at maths or something, because
he's been very, very, very aggressive about this with us, and we were trying to give him a heads up, like, hey, listen, like, you are being grifted here, you're being scammed, you're having the wool pulled over your eyes. She is taking advantage of these larger channels' hard work.
I'll tell you
building their own reputations and social trust with their subscribers, because you are more inclined to donate if someone like Degeneration Nation or Schrodinger's cat tells you to do it than if you just do it on your own. And I don't believe that either of these men knew this at all. I think they took it at face value because she's a good person. She is reputable. She's been reputable. She built this community, is what she'll tell you. She built this community.
Hey, what about it mentioned something like she was going to sell something on eBay. Did she ever have eBay? Can we check that box? Did she ever have an eBay account back then or something?
She had two eBay stores. One was called Foxtail Publishing. However, they didn't publish or sell books. They sold purses, soaps, and other items. They were not necessarily items that they owned. They were just items that they, that they had.
Could those be items that someone may have gotten at, like, say, Walmart?
Yeah. Yep. And then there was another one that was active until 2017 called Golden Phoenix Tears. They were selling Vera Wang nightgowns for $19.99.
Okay, so the eBay accounts were open before this police report, so like 2005, 2007.
Who's timing anyone out for mentioning Polly? Nobody should be timing anyone out for mentioning Polly. I don't give a shit if you talk about Polly, honestly. I just don't. Anything about anyone's children or anything like that, different story. But all right, so here we go. Charges. Walker, Jamie Janae. This is a felony charge, as we can see at the top. So when she says, I am in no way, shape, or form a felon, she was convicted of this. She pled to it. This is her date of birth here, 1971. Oh, I thought I had September 10th on it. I don't know why I did.
No, there's another document that links to the court case that has September 10th on it.
That's what it was. Yeah.
The Texas one?
No. Actually, if Kate hasn't got it, I'll try and.
Let's take a look at this one. I haven't seen this one.
Yeah.
Well, this is just the docket to that case that we just got off here.
Oh, okay. I thought there's some juicy stuff in here.
Yeah.
Okay. There's the docket.
Yeah, this is the docket. She received she received misdemeanor probation. So what they did is we can say she was found guilty of theft of property, felony class C. She was found guilty. As part of the plea deal, she had converted conditions of her probation. So they converted it to misdemeanor probation so that she was not on felony probation, but she is still a felon.
Okay.
There's a docket here. This is the docket to that case that we just got off here. Yeah. Well, this is just the docket to that case that we just got off here. Yeah.
Okay. There's the docket.
Yeah. And then here we go. Charges. Walker, Jamie Janae. This is a felony charge, as we can see at the top. So when she says, I am in no way, shape, or form a felon, she was convicted of this. This is her
And we can see here, just the events here that she did. We can also see that she had to file indignant. But I do believe that she has an attorney on retainer now. Definitely believe it.
Look, I see Rogue Nation in the chat. He got out. Hey, Rogue, you're out.
He's out.
All right.
Like his dance moves.
So
Ballet pirouette that he does.
it's a revolving door for him.
Well, I mean, I was kind of jealous. He got like a 5 or 6. He got
It's the
a 3-night
one.
a 3-night 4-day tour of Florida, room and board paid for. That's,
Oh my God! Look at that. We have almost 800 people in here now. Jesus Christ!
Yeah, it's big.
Nothing like reading out a police report. It's like a train wreck. Everybody's gonna fucking watch. You ever notice that? As soon as he pull out the police reports, it's like, here we go.
yeah, D-Band. That's right. Foxtail Publishing. That's right.
Yeah, Foxtail Publishing. So let me go back.
I'm reading the chat for once. I never read the chat.
I usually do. So here's some more check fraud because this is not like a new thing. So let's see. This is from Texas.
And that's the one where we have the date of birth confirmation.
I believe so, yeah. Oh.
Well, I was also able to confirm it because I suspected her date of birth, so I put it through CBI. So Colorado Bureau of Investigations for the Uninitiated, so it did come back. She doesn't have any arrest record in Colorado. Sorry to jump ahead in the timeline. But yeah, that is how I ended up verifying it.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, I was able to verify it, and honestly, I can pull up my... Actually,
Now, our privacy laws are shit up here. It's great.
But Degeneration Nation would have to be the doctor who delivered her to know that was when she was born.
right.
Well, we're all
You won't
doctors.
believe anything else.
We're
Here
all
it is.
doctors.
So this is another check fraud. State of Texas versus Jamie J. Walker. Date of birth 9/10/1971. And this was yet another check fraud. Theft by check. More equal to $20. $500. Now this was dismissed, but this was not a one-time thing for her to write bad checks. She's been doing it for the better part of a decade.
If you look at the date of the complaint on that, which is what I've got to convert now, 5th of September, 2007.
Yeah.
I mean, it's around the same time, isn't it? I suspect that they knew that she was up for a felony elsewhere and couldn't be bothered. They'd have had to extradite her.
Yeah.
What was the point?
Yeah, and she's got another one in 98 too. So I mean, this is like financial crimes up the yin yang here. Like I don't understand how anyone could look at this lady at this point and be like, no, it's totally on the up and up. Like the fire, her account doesn't match. If we go back and let's just check again for the sake of things, has she put up her website yet? I guarantee she hasn't because that was fraudulent as fuck too. We price that out to a couple $100 if we're being generous, because it is essentially a free Wix site. And if you look here, her site is down. This domain isn't connected to her website yet. If it's my website, all I got to do is go to Wix.com, sign in, and that's my domain. I got it through Wix.com. Not an expensive endeavor. Not an expensive endeavor at all.
Well, that doesn't cost $13,000.
No, it doesn't.
No.
And
Sure.
And it's a database we've never seen. It was the scammer database that was developed. That was, behind the scenes and an engine. And we looked at it. We didn't take the website all the way apart while I was up, but there was really no customized scripting, any kind of customized JavaScripting. I didn't see any link to another external database. But
So when she did her GoFundMe for that,
all the money was wrapped up in this scammer database that she'd built in this crazy search engine. But
so when she did her fundraiser for that, she made a mistake because she should have claimed for 13,000 Turkish lira or something, as opposed to 13,000 US dollar. Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know, maybe so. I did. Back to the other point. I did do I know you can't put full faith in those in those online background checks, background databases out there, but for what it's worth, you do. I looked at the whole country for exact first name, exact middle name, and exact last name. Walker, unique middle name, Jamie Janae Walker. I got one. I don't know what you guys got, but that's what I got. I didn't find like a plethora that I had to go through. Oh, I'm sorry. At age 50, I had to put that.
And how about one that's had a husband named Walker and a husband-wife, I'm not sure, named Gina?
I mean, it's not 100%, but you know.
Oh, it's 100%. It is 100%. And what I'm going to show you, because I'm going to pull up my Gmail right now, actually, is I have stuff about my kids and shit in my personal Gmail that I don't want to put all over the internet right now. But, you know, I'm going to show you that I put in that information, Jamie Walker Taylor, date of birth 9, and this is what they gave me back. So hold on just a minute. This is the police records.
I want to clarify. I meant those databases aren't on 100%, but once we check all these boxes, I'm at 100%.
I thought your email would have an email from DGen telling you he wanted to come up on panel to apologise.
If anyone wants to, like,
good point.
About this.
Good point on Shane America, Jamie Taylor as well. Yeah, the alias, the one I did find under Walker did have the alias of Taylor too. Yeah, good point. Both names. Maybe it makes it even more.
So as you can see, this is my records request down here. And as we can see, you guys see that right here. Jamie Walker, maiden name Taylor, date of birth 9/10/1971. So I gave her name, her maiden name, and her date of birth. And what we can see the Fargo police sent me back is the record, which there are the attachments at the bottom. There we have the record that I just showed you. Okay, so this comes back to her name, her date of birth. Like I said, we know that her spouse's name is in there just from talking to people at this point, because she's been bullying way too many fucking people at this point. You know, at some point this was going to come out. She's literally trying to control the narrative and tell people what to think, you know, how to feel, who to trust, who not to trust, and just shut up and give her your money.
Well, someone in the chat just said, hey, look, don't feel bad. There's no way of knowing we were all duped. No, there was flags way early on, and the thing kept going, and people were either stifled or questioned, or how dare you question this? And no, the flags were being raised. There was a lot of people there was so much pushback, and nobody was afraid to ask questions and get down to try to get right down to it. That's kind of.
I mean, if I was given anyone any advice about people asking for money on GoFundMe, make sure that you know who the eventual beneficiary is, and everything you can know about them, find out. And if they're genuine, they're going to give that information to you.
Here's how you do it, Prog. Hey, Prog, here's how you do it. If you're going to go out there and fundraise for somebody and just, and basically put your name on it, you need to be so sure to the point where you will be willing to say that if you're wrong, you will match. You'll match what was raised, and you'll match it. You put your money where your mouth is, kind of thing. And then, it works for me.
And Simon says, I donated to Virgo after the fire. That was legit. It was overstated, but legit. I donate again in such circumstances. No blame to or for AMG. And I agree. There was enough with that issue, with that tragedy, right? Like, there was a fire. Some of their belongings were destroyed, and they were displaced. That's enough to ask for donation. Yeah. But because it's not $45,000, and I can see on the front end $35,000. I can see $35,000 between the GoFundMe, the PayPal pool, and the receipt that Schrodinger's cat put up about the super chats that he had given her. All of the super chats for one night. It was like almost $3,000. So on the front end we see $35,000. I don't know how much she got privately. Nobody's ever going to know that unless people come forward. But what happened to her with the fire was not worth $35,000 plus. That's why she overstated it, people. Because she's been doing this for a long time. She's a grifter. She misrepresents herself, and she wants your money. And I can understand still wanting to help her just based on the facts of the fire. But if she comes asking for money again, which she's already starting to do, I would be careful. I wouldn't do it.
Yeah.
It's an adult's responsibility to make sure they're adequately insured, to go and flip burgers at McDonald's if that's the only job that they can get, to earn a living, or to be supported by the state. It's not for all these random GoFundMes to fund these people's lifestyles. I'm sorry. Mm-hmm. I feel fairly strongly on that, because you cannot out the frauds. If you want to donate money to something, donate it to a small charity local that you know.
Right.
Donate it to a big charity that you know.
Well, no, okay, no. On that note, yeah, I don't mind when something happens. Nomad comes to mind. If it's something you know happened, well, we know that happened, and the person we're giving to we know is the right person. I don't have a problem with that. I do believe in friends helping friends, and I do think it's nice. But that's why we need to not have these kinds of things, because it ends up getting in the way. I mean, we're not going to set up a 501c3 charity to help somebody out if they have a fire or something like that. You know, I like being able to, if she'd have just said, I had a fire and the animals, I got to shelter them and I need some help, and like Kate said, well, then I think that's a good thing that we don't have to, you know, go outside and find you start a GoFundMe. I like the pools. I hear the PayPal pools are going away, but it's it's accountability, not just a PayPal name or a PayPal account. And I think it kind of takes away from the. I don't want to be so cynical as to I have to sit there and go through this every time. You want to help somebody.
Yeah.
And Sean is saying a lot of us came in after she was entrenched. How are you supposed to know? I mean, you really weren't. I'm sorry I became a little harsh. I was very annoyed at all the people that were like screaming at me, like, how dare you? You're just, I am a troublemaker. I definitely am. And if you're scamming people and I think you're taking advantage of people, I'm definitely going to make some trouble for you. Like, I'm not saying that that's not true, but, for people to literally be hit with, just a taste of the facts and deny, that bothers me to see happen. Like, don't be willfully ignorant, people. Come on. Like, I understand. These are small channels that we run. Not a lot of people are showing up here, okay? We're all normal people that have to work 1 or 2 jobs, or maybe are on Social Security because they're sick and they can't work, or, maybe they were affected by the pandemic. Like, there should be zero pressure when you watch a stream or watch someone's videos to have to take on their personal problems and support them for that. There should be zero pressure to ever feel like you need to financially support someone that you just watch on YouTube. Like, your thoughts and your input and your company is enough. It really is.
I know. I wish it were, but it's still, these things are still going to happen. And I would like to think, and I think everybody else would like to think, that whatever they donate is always on the level and it's always accurate. It's always honest.
Right.
But things like this is going to deter from that. It's going to, people are going to they're going to get calloused. They're going to be like, oh, fuck, another one. Oh, geez. In other words, they ruin, the old saying, you ruin it for everybody kind of thing. Jesus.
Yeah, and then, Genesis says, so long as the person asking for money is being honest, I don't see a problem with them asking for any reason. In my opinion, it's up to the donors to decide the worthiness of the request. I agree. I don't feel comfortable, like coming up and asking subscribers for money. I don't put links in my chat like that. I appreciate the super chats we do get. I don't ever want people to feel like they need to do that. But other people, if they do, and as long as they're being honest, fine. Like, if you want to raise money for a grilled cheese sandwich, tell people you want to raise money for a grilled cheese sandwich. If they want to donate, like, I had a fund going. I didn't really push it very far, but where I was like, this is a PayPal pool for some fucked up shit I want to do, but I can't tell you yet. Right? Donate if you want or if you don't. It's being honest.
Yeah, honesty.
Yeah.
I think that's the key thing here: honesty, accuracy, and transparent as much as you can. And if she'd have just came out with the original story, it wouldn't got to this level. She had to be so transparent, if everything makes sense, and nothing made sense when I heard about the blown up and all that stuff back, and then about a red flag kind of went up, and then when people get through, she was able to talk because she called 911 so she could speak. And then all of a sudden she can't speak. She couldn't talk for like 2.5 months, and she couldn't walk. And all of a sudden she couldn't talk and all this stuff. I'm like, wait a minute. She called 911. She talked. She talked to the
because she walked out of the house
about her purse. She had no problem talking about her purse and things like that. Usually things things don't get worse. I mean, like all of a sudden she can't talk.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as whole keywords like long-term lung damage and all that stuff, when she was just in there, heard the fire, got out. I don't know. And then the ball lightning was like, okay, here we go.
Yeah, that was absurd. I mean, it always eventually slips into the realm of absolute absurdity with fraud. I mean, it gets there. And also the comment on screen I kind of wanted to address. Oh,
sorry.
there it went.
Bad.
I'm sorry if I butcher your name. I think Alana, about the Puggle puppy she has. So if she was doing so bad and her spouse is in and out of the ICU, why the fuck is she getting a puppy? Especially a designer dog breed that probably came from a puppy mill and probably cost around 2.5K or so, because that's how much they're going for.
Well,
But
she always says she rescues these dogs, and if you notice too,
yes.
So there's the Puggle puppy. I can't remember, Tatum or something. She's also put in her community posts and comments that she rescued another dog, Jax. So she was in this house fire. They're both very ill. They can barely walk or take care of themselves. They need round-the-clock nursing. They can't afford their lives, but they just took in 2 more mouths to feed. Like, yes.
Yeah, this is absurd. I mean,
look,
and how are they all... Can I... Okay. But how are they all ending up with... How is she just miraculously finding all these brindle dogs? Because obviously she has a taste for expensive things, because those brindle dogs go for more.
Yeah.
I mean, I just don't believe that the shelter magically had that many brindle dogs, and I don't even think the shelter would adopt her, which I'm in the process of trying to speak with them, because that is too many dogs for where she lives if she's still living there. I mean, right now she's probably packing her shit and hitting the road.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
And not because she's afraid, because she doesn't want to go to jail, or in this case, prison.
Well, I don't know that at this point I would say that it's going to rise to the level of anything criminal, because there was a fire, right? We've had this debate sort of whether
It just seems like she was very deceptive.
She was deceptive. I don't know if she was. My feeling is that this would not be considered criminal, because there was a fire. I have to stress, like, there was a fire. She was displaced, and some of her shit got ruined. Like, that is all true. All the embellishment, it was deceptive, but I don't think it was illegal. I really don't.
Yeah, and then the immediate about face when Tina was like, "Oh, let's kind of pump the brakes. Like, the community's kind of dry. We got the thing we don't talk about going on around, and nobody's really got it for charity right now." And immediately AMG was enemy number one. She says she has connections in the dog breeding community. Well, brindle isn't a naturally occurring color in beagles, and it's not a very normal color in pugs. So genetics wise, she got fucked, because those Puggle puppies aren't Puggles, and Puggle isn't a fucking breed. So she's got some backyard breeders or some puppy mills.
Did you just read a comment off screen that someone said she has something?
Oh, sorry, connections.
She says she has connections. Well, yeah. Sorry, that's a Marvel girl. Yeah, I mean, that's the problem, is she says, doesn't she? She says, but we can't believe.
She's a dog. She's a vet.
Word that really comes out of her mouth, I don't think. I mean,
yeah. I mean,
I'm someone who doesn't know her. I have no axe to grind in this, other than I'm sort of on the same side as the Watchdogs, as they're called. I'm not a watchdog. I didn't know there was such a thing as this watchdog community until fairly recently. I knew certain channels within it, but I didn't sort of think there was this hierarchical system of watchdog channels.
I didn't know either, because I didn't pay any entry fee.
No, but I did see that they talked about outing scams and frauds, and right under the nose.
Yeah, and the people who were on her GoFundMe were the people who were running into these chats and defending her. If you call it defending, I mean, they were just smearing everybody else.
Yeah, I mean, and
it was fucking, what was it? It was Kimball's and fucking, Kimball's and Sean Z.
Well, I don't know. At this point, I'm hoping that people at least see the light and don't continue to run around, do everything for her, and give her, their money, or at least think about it. I tend to believe that, I mean, some of these people were bought hook, line, and sinker on the existence of an NDA that blocked out public records requests, which is just not true. They were sold on the idea of a preliminary report versus a final one, and the fire department does not agree with that. They've been sold on a lot of things that I would like to think. That you just show them how duped they were, because it defies logic. And I do also want to point out that Rogue Nation supports Masshole Report. He loves us. He's now a donor. This show is sponsored by Rogue Nation.
Shout out for Rogue.
Yep.
What a generous donation. Thank you.
For those people who think we shouldn't be doing this, she's a good person and all that. How does that make us on this side look amongst those within the frauditing side or the Sovsit side or the Moore side that we criticise, but we just ignore this? We don't look. I mean, it's just not right.
No, you don't look away just because it's someone who hates the same people that you do. It's wrong. And if this was Rogue Nation that we were talking about, everyone would be eating it up and cheering it on. Extra Good Citizen also supports us. If this was Extra Good Citizen, you guys would absolutely love to hear about a new scam or, an old scam or, love it.
Yeah.
But
it's just stupid because on our worst day, we're fucking Scooby-Doo.
Yeah, Mystery Machine.
They have fucking Earl David Warden and a bunch of other fucked up people, but it boggles the mind.
I think
it really does.
Alter the behavior where questions should be allowed, and not ostracize anybody for asking questions. Don't jump down. Just say it. It's okay to ask questions, and then for the person soliciting donations, it's okay for people to ask questions. It has to be, because you're not an organized charity. That we open books and everything else where we can get documents and on where the money was spent. We're going off of what you're telling us. Everybody's going off what's being said. And if things don't line up, questions should be allowed.
Yeah, and questions were never on the fucking menu for sure.
And
the minute that anybody asked any questions, Virgo immediately was just like, no, fuck off.
And really, what because of the amounts of money involved, you really needed a criminal record check, didn't you? I mean, that's... It wasn't. We're not talking about $500 here. We're not talking about $1,000. We're talking about probably some substantial sums of money being paid from people who can ill afford to pay that money.
Yeah, and if the background check revealed something like marijuana possession, well, that probably wouldn't have been brought up. I don't think Kate would have brought that up. It's not relevant. It's
not relevant. Not relevant.
So it goes to character. There's honesty. There's integrity. There's openness. And allowing people to ask questions, and then character comes into play. And if we can't look at all that stuff, and if we're getting, doors shut in our faces, well, then we have to go to this extent, and it's a shame.
Kate gone?
Yeah, no, I just wanted to thank WTT for his $5 that will help me buy a new mic. Team Earl, even he's not as bad as these Watchdog people. I disagree. Let's give Virgo some credit. She has not been convicted of raping a woman at gunpoint while impersonating a police officer. So,
way to go, Virgo.
Yeah, congrats. You're the shiniest turd in the pile.
Yeah. Yeah, if Phil finds it ironic that her channel was about scamming, I agree. I mean,
it is ironic because, she's got all this inside knowledge. We all wondered where she got it from.
Tice Mahoney says, I'm thinking there are a lot of people out there who are hurt by these reports and highlights characteristics of a person that they may have held to a very high standard. This hurt and anger will pass. I would agree. It sucks when you get had, but just take this lesson and apply it elsewhere. I don't know. This is just what we do here. This is what we do. I call bullshit. It's what I do in my spare time. I just call bullshit.
Okay, so what do you think is going to be the response? Do we have the wrong person? I think that's all she can say. You got the wrong person. I mean,
it's not the wrong person.
Yeah.
Honestly, if she wants to say that I got the wrong person, if this really is the wrong person, Virgo, I have just slandered you. Please sue me. Please sue me so that I can publish every single step of discovery. Please sue me so I can cover the lawsuit very closely on my YouTube channel.
Yes, please give us some free views and clicks. That'll be awesome.
I like a good court case as much as the next person. Taco Josh Gaming, thank you for your $2. He says, Virgo embellished my lack of integrity. Hi, Kimbles. Taco, I think is good friend. Celestia Lynn says, Team Kate, Team Navin, thank you, Celestia. And I owe Navin $8 now.
All right. No, you don't. No, you don't.
$5 that I owe Dogtective for her milk bone supply.
Yummy, yummy in the tummy.
Okay, well, how about this one then?
Actually, you know what? I'm just gonna. You guys drop your freaking Venmo or something in the link, and I'll just cover that now.
How about this one? How about the plausible deniability route? She's going to say, "Look, I was. They started the GoFundMe. Well, not me. I had nothing to do with it. They did that. It's them. They started it."
Yes, she walked out of that house. My ass, she didn't know.
No. So this is what I would say. She may have convinced other people to do the GoFundMe for her, but she was the one who told them the story that got them to do the GoFundMe in the first place, and she was behind every step of the way, and she is recorded on September 10th during her birthday live stream as telling people, don't stop donating, I still need money. At that point, she was over $30,000. Don't stop donating, I still need money.
It's a good answer.
Yeah,
you don't have to pay me to thank me. You're welcome. Marvel Girl was wronged in all this. She has integrity. She is the one who stood up when tens of thousands of dollars are being raised for this woman and said, I don't want to bleed our subscribers dry. Can we take a break? That is all she did, and she has been smeared for it every step of the way. She did the right thing. She did the right thing.
Yeah, and, you know, there have been a lot of slanderous... There's been a lot of accusations leveled at Marvel Girl. I have not involved her in my investigation. I haven't asked her for info. She didn't fucking dox you.
Yeah, she won't give anybody anything.
And, you know, and that's right. Because, you know, she was just like, you know what you find is what you find. Just do your thing. But I'm honestly, I'm a little devastated because of just how long this went on and her trying to blackball AMG for coming out and saying anything. AMG was trying to be brave when she's already got her own problems to deal with right now. And then fucking Virgo rolls up and she pulls on those heartstrings every time.
Yeah, I mean, it's true. She
accidentally stopped the scam.
I'm sorry.
That's true.
She stumbled on a scam. Good for her. Good for her.
What bothered me a lot is there were serious problems with the story and everything else. And recently, her tone in her voice it's almost like so condescending. So how could you? And attackful, if that's a word. I don't know. I'm going to bury anybody that keeps this up. Lawsuits, you're going to jail. You're going to spend a year in the county jail to keep talking about this shit. I mean, you know, that's just, I don't know what kind of person does that.
Was she in the hospital those 12 days ICU? So this is what we do know, and obviously we don't have access to medical records. Shout out to Generation Nation again. Thank you, D-Gen. He's been sending out what looks to be some medical reports that show that she was in the ICU for 3 days and she was in a regular hospital room for 6 days. So that is half the time that she claims to be in the hospital. And again, D-Gen has been sending that out to people. So thank you for clearing that up for us. It was not 12 days. It was 6. It was 6.
Yeah, and that doesn't actually have a name on it. Even that doesn't, does it?
Yeah, no, it doesn't have a name on it. But we're going. I trust you, Jen. He's been right so far.
We're sort of trusting that he's done his due diligence on it. Well, I can't trust that D-Gen's done any due diligence on anything, to be perfectly honest.
Okay, let's
Sorry,
see.
he did. I've had a go at D-Gen tonight. I know, and I'm a bit sore because he kicked me out of his server, his Discord server this evening, when I posted my premiere video this evening, which was just telling about someone's criminal record, and he kicked me out for it. He obviously doesn't want people to know the truth.
No.
The title of your video is Virgo a thief or Virgo is a thief?
No, Virgo is a thief.
I mean, it's not wrong. So thank you again to Rogue Nation. $2 now is up to. He loves us. He supports us. He just bought me 2 double cheeseburgers. Granger Renfew says, thank you, Kate, for opening our eyes. Thanks, guys. I appreciate the super chats, but don't feel like you have to do it. I'm trying to read comments whether or not they're super chats. Keeping it criminal. Thank you. He says, Kimball's and Sean Z. I hope you realize the errors of your ways. # integrity wins. This is what integrity is. I know that some of you people are going to hate me. Some of you I liked, honestly. But we've talked on a personal level, and you're going to be upset with me for this. But, integrity just is honesty. You're just going to be honest, man. I couldn't see people getting fleeced and not say something.
And as I've seen them appear in chat, keeping it criminal, a Marvel girl. Don't feel that you've done anything wrong in this at all.
Yeah,
You were just part of. Someone mentioned Watchdog. A Marvel girl's been shat on. I think Kit, you've been shat on a bit. It's just not fair. Just not fair.
No, not at all.
Yeah,
No
I think
criticism
everybody's
from-
been shat on because of this.
Yeah,
Hey,
no
guys.
criticism from here of you two people. They're 2 people who I've specifically seen in chat, so I'm not leaving anyone out. But
No, you got them.
Miss Mandy says, Team Marvel Girl. Yeah, I mean, I am Team Marvel Girl.
Hey guys, do you think we're at the point where maybe we should issue like a strong suggestion or recommendation that some refunds are in order?
I think that she should, if anybody feels like they were duped, and really need that money back, especially, I would request a refund. I would do that.
Yeah, go to GoFundMe as well. They have a guarantee. I don't know how guarantee-ish it really is, but you can also report to the FTC. They require the actual victim of the scam to report. They might find something, they might not. So, there's no guaranteed outcome. We can't guarantee any outcome, but if you feel like you need to, do what you want to do. It's your money.
Sorry, KF Wealth is saying I ignored their comment. I'm sorry. The chat goes fucking fast, guys. Calm down. I'm going back and looking. Just want to point out that Izzy is actually the hero that we all need. He's got great hair. I must say those channels only comment about people giving them money via supers or memberships. Not one channel stops donations. It's all about the money. I mean, yeah, I don't not take super chat donations. Otherwise, I would, not have it up. But I'm not lying to you saying that I just got blown out of a 3-story window, and it's absolutely not necessary. And I do try to read the comments that aren't super chats as well. Sometimes they go fast. So I apologize, KF Welch, for that. Miss Mandy says she donated $100 and I need it super bad right now. Yeah, that's the problem, is people were giving out of the goodness of their hearts, and I ask for it back. Sock Money had a house fire. My family set up a GoFundMe and there was an expectation of transparency. That's what I mean. Just tell the truth. It might not get you as much money, but it'll get you what you need. That's when you're asking people to help you, all you can expect is what you need, not what you want.
And what you deserve, right? Or I would say. Yeah.
Anything else, guys, before we kill this?
Well, I know she talked about medical expenses, but I mean, not having a house fire and all that, she likely would have been able to get on Medicaid if she had asked us, a social worker in the hospital. So I don't understand where all these little expenses are coming from, but I'd remain very skeptical.
Well, did she really? I think she alluded to that, made inferences and made statements that the person reading it would say, oh, man, she needs medical help, medical expenses help, too. I don't think she actually said. Well, did she put out the invoice or something like that? Didn't she put out some sort of an invoice?
No, it's not an invoice.
No.
It's what DGen was putting out behind the scenes. It doesn't give prices.
Oh, okay.
Just a list of services, and mainly just that she was in the ICU for 3 days and she was in an intermediate room for 6.
Yeah,
Gotcha.
but also note that if you're on Medicaid, sometimes you will get the straight up itemized bill after you've paid your copay, but it's already paid. It's a clusterfuck.
I am certain that there will be after this stream certain people who are 100% blinded by Virgo who will try to deny that this person is a Virgo. And they'll probably produce documentation. I can produce documentation. I can produce it on my computer. I can make it say and look like anything. Just think about that. You know, you can't believe anything.
Not unless you pull it yourself. Look it up yourself. Yep.
Yeah.
Yep.
Look it up. You know, if she says, "Oh, this is my birth certificate. Here's a copy." Well, is it? Is it?
Right.
Yeah, exactly. And I mean, it's not. I mean, it's a pretty unique name.
Yeah. No, it's her. It's you know.
Peanut 411 is trash. My sugar daddy of the evening. Mass reports Schrodinger's cat and the great Mr. Frog. Thank you very much for exposing these jobless criminals. Schrodinger's cat, I'll take care of you via PayPal. Much respect, sir. Usus. Thank you, Peanut 411. Trash, yeah.
What a perfect avatar. I love it.
Poor Peanut
Although I'm a
411.
little bit miffed you
And
didn't mention
Kate,
me. How
don't-
dare you?
I don't know if you posted the link to the documents yet, or
No, once the stream is
Right.
over, I'm going to edit it. I'm going to put the Dropbox, so you will be able to access all of these records for yourself, read them at your own leisure, scrutinize them. Tell me in the comments why I'm an asshole and I read them wrong, because I'm sure I'll get a couple of those. Hey, Virgo.
I'll tell you what. You do realise that when they make these reports, that they leave, you know, words out that actually need to be there to make it make sense.
Yeah.
Right.
The context, yeah, she spun this so freaking much that she's getting wrapped up in her own lies.
Van Valiant, can we get a statement from you before you go? I'm curious how you feel about that. Are you willing to make a statement before you go?
Yeah, I see you, Pat. Yeah, that might be phase 3, you think? Maybe for the next show.
Yeah.
Look at that some more.
Yeah.
But Pat's comment.
I'm just curious because I know Van Valiant really rode hard for her there, so I'm just wondering if he still feels the same way or, you know, what's going on with that.
I think even the see you guys, I imagine that's quite a friendly see you guys as opposed to a what the fuck have you done, guys?
Yeah,
If that makes sense.
I
You know,
think he needs to do some soul searching.
Well, you know, is he?
I
Yeah,
don't know. I just
it's more, you know, you can be hoodwinked, and you can't, you know, not everyone has had the time in the last few days to do the investigations, so, you know.
yeah, and you know, there's a lot of shame attached to when someone gets scammed, but I just, you know, I want to put it out there as someone with plenty of fraud investigations experience. I mean, you're not stupid. You guys just wanted to do something nice for
Yep.
someone that you thought was also nice, and it ended badly, and that's just, it's a lesson that we all had to learn.
And the way that even you know, in the last 2 or 3 days, the way that Virgo has been, it's feel sorry for me. I'm being attacked. Feel sorry for me.
Yeah,
I'm
there's
being
always that,
attacked.
too.
You know,
Yeah.
and if I know Van goes back, what 6 years possibly, if Virgo's to be believed. I don't know. But you know, it's one of the originators of. But I don't think he knows. I don't think he knows.
Coming and said that she's not affiliated, so I just want to throw that up. It's okay, Van. I didn't mean to put you on the spot. I didn't realize that you'd already apologized to Marvel Girl. That's what I was concerned with. It's just that, like, I know Marvel Girl took that pretty hard from anything I can see. I just, you know.
Yeah, I don't think Van knows, you know, of Virgo, so you know, he's the same as anyone else. So, big up Van Valen.
Yeah.
Big up. Yeah, these things are kind of well engineered and they tug on the heartstrings, and people get blinded, and you get kind of like, you know, not at your senses. And I think I've put together at one point. how scams work and how they work so well on people. And well, it's a big thing. Pets, that's huge. Medical bills. Somebody gets hurt. Nobody likes to see anybody hurt. And you want to do whatever you can. You feel helpless. You want to do something. There's always, the elderly, the homeless, and those kind of things. And then there's the scams of people hear what they want to hear and believe what they want to believe. And then once they get kind of set in on it, they hold hard to that hope, because they don't want to know the truth. They want to say, oh my God, I got fools. They must double down. So people that did donate, do not feel like you were duped or anything like that. It's just.
Well, you were duped, but it's not your fault.
Yeah, exactly.
It's not his fault.
Karen Dixoff says, where can I post my Cash App? Right here. Just, make up a story about some sort of personal tragedy. Really jazz it up. Ben Holden says, Virgo, donate to your landlord. I know you're here. She's definitely here. Yeah. Give that man some money, Virgo. His property loss really worked out for you. His property loss was your property gain, lady.
Yeah.
All right. Well, on that note,
all right.
Kill this, right? I gotta go to the store and get more cigarettes. I smoked too many on stream.
Okay.
Can someone give me a wake up call, because I've got an early morning?
Okay, I'll call you.
Cheers, thanks.
Good night.
Cheers, Frog.
Good night, everybody. Thank you for everybody for joining us. And Virgo, feel free to.
Thanks for having me on your channel again, Kate.
Yeah.
Yeah. Feel free to run your mouth.
Yeah, we like it.
We enjoy it. We'll be waiting, because I know those few days will go real fast.
Yep. Good day, guys.
Good night, guys.
Night.